big thing that I'm so famous for right now is the Occupy the Getty movement, which of course is me trying to focus the world's attention on one particular deep underground bunker, the one underneath the Getty Center in Los Angeles. And that's because in my dealings with these people, NSA and Templars and CIA and everything else, I got to the real core of this stuff. And that's when they basically told me that that's where they're vulnerable. That's the only thing they're vulnerable. And that's, they know their crystal ball, basically, they got the alien technology and all that looking glass. They know this is coming, but it's the only way it's going to happen is if we all focus on this one damn thing because that's their weak spot. That's what Occupy the Getty is, and that's why another shout out to Eugene Linton, who I went to. What do you guys did the show, did the stand up? Which one of you guys do the stand up here? One of you?
Myself, I do it very well. Xavier in the
I
corner,
try.
he
You try.
tries, and then our good friend Eddie Bravo.
Well, okay. Well, this dude came all the way from Saipan to see your show.
Yes, yes, and he came and saw me in some crazy Chinese restaurant, and
Yeah,
then
yeah,
I was
Long Beach or
working
something
out,
like that, right?
and I was
It-
like, "Dude, tell me when you're coming. I'll make sure it's a bigger show, not just a workout night in Long Beach." But yeah, I remember him. Good looking kid.
Yeah, well, anyway, he told me he had two objectives when he came out from Saipan, and one was to see your show and to see me and to get you to have me on your show. So, Eugene, here we are. He's been giving me crap all for the last month or so. Is it still going to happen? Is it still going to happen? They call you. Yes, Eugene. Yes, relax. Anyway,
And here
so
we are,
here
making
we are.
Eugene's dreams come true.
Yeah,
Congratulations, Eugene. You made magic happen. It's
yeah.
great.
But you guys, I mean, I repeat the same thing over and over. I'm kind of looking forward to any questions you have. I mean, because it's like CIA stuff. I'll tell you, I'll just share something with you right now. I haven't really shared with anybody. I've been just watching this series Narcos,
Yeah.
on Nick, and I avoid that stuff because it's so half the time they get everything wrong.
Hmm.
But I went back and started watching the whole damn thing. And I got to tell you, man, it's affecting me because I had my fingers in that stuff from the beginning, first episode up until the Enrique Camarena stuff and all that. And I got to watch the whole thing now because, man, I had connections to not Quintero, but the guys in Tijuana over there. Anyway, I don't know if you watched that show, but it's like hits really close to home. And sometimes, I forget stuff like that. And I realize that's one of the reasons why I'm such a damn troublemaker for these people because I've been there and I know about this stuff. And, I could, so that's the thing. All I can do is try. I mean, I already wrote a book. The book's available and it goes up to about whatever, I don't know, whatever year. I mean, I wrote it 12 years ago, so it doesn't cover the last 12 years, but
What's the name of the book, Stephen? So we
well,
can make
right. The
sure we
book's
promote.
name is the original name for the book is Lasers, Cavers, and Magic. Okay. And that's free. You get that book for free. I'll give it to you. You can email me. I'll give it to you. You go online. It's all over the place. You join my group on Telegram. You can download it. There's also, if you look that up on YouTube, there's an audio book too. You don't have to read the thing. It's only like 200 pages. But lasers, that's because I'm a laser guy and it was a big deal. It was a big part of what I did. Cavers, that's the name. That's what you call these guys that live in these bunkers. They're cavers. They live in the caves. They're the caver ones. We don't call them CIA or whatever you want to call them, mole men. They're cavers. That's what they call themselves. Okay. And then magic, that's the whole psychic stuff. Okay. Because this whole battle, it's a psychic battle. Super soldiers and all that stuff is real. I do that. I'm very, very heavy into all that stuff, and that's a lot of how we fight these battles with these guys is using this astral stuff, and it's real. Okay, men who stare at goats. That stuff is very, very real.
I agree.
But but at the same time, I have to try to do my best to everyone that's alive today to have this stuff in their head. So we can have some 100 monkeys effect going on and then everyone will start talking about it. I mean, it's happening now. After 12 years, people are starting to talk about it.
I
You know, it
agree.
took a lot of work.
Yeah, for sure.
They're still fighting it. You know, I mean, this is not the first time I've been kicked off of Twitter, and I've been kicked off of YouTube and Facebook and, you know, everything else many, many times, you know, and I'm waiting for me to kick me off of Rumble. But at least I'm here I am. See, so all I got now is like shows like you guys. That's it. You know, this is our only hope for getting out there. And because there's so many voices right now, you know what I'm talking about in our little community. There's the dare I name names, right? You know, because I don't want to get political, but I mean, if you want me to, but there's so many fakers and people are in this for the money and people who are getting, I mean, it's like take a guy like Russell Brand right now, who's like sleeping with P. Diddy, who everybody's talking about, you know, and yet these guys, and then he's on stage pretending to be a Christian now. That's the big thing. I just got off this big, huge ass fight with the Masons. It's never over. That shit's not going away. They're after me right now, hardcore. And that when I say Masons, that also means mafia. So I'm still going at it with the mafia, hardcore. And I mean, I'm just beginning. Those guys started this crap, okay? But what is the Getty? The Getty is mafia. The Templars are mafia. The government's mafia. NSA is mafia. It's all mafia. It's like that damn show, Narcos. You think, you know, cartels. Shit, that was the NSA. You know, it wasn't Los Pepes or the cartels or the Mexican government. That was the NSA. You know, that was us, and it wasn't even the NSA. When I was doing it, I thought it was the CIA, and we didn't say NSA. You know, and then Oliver North comes along. You know, and everyone's NSA, NSA. It wasn't even NSA. It was Intertel. It was this mafia. You know, it was this Robert Vesco, Nixon era mafia stuff going on. And that stuff is still heavy today. Trump's part of it. They're all part of it. There's different factions of these guys. I mean, there's like the Zionist faction and the Nazi faction. And they looks like they're two sides you know, opposites, but they're two sides of the same coin. It's hard to tell who's who. It really is. For me, it's the only way I know a little bit is on my side of the Rocky Mountains. I'm in California, so on my side of the Rockies, it's all Nazi. Okay, but if you go east of that, that's the Zionist side. Kind of, it's
I
crazy
agree.
shit.
I
Yeah.
agree. And you know, I've been thinking a lot about this, you know, because you know, we're in this age kind of right now with cancel culture, cultural Marxism, and this kind of like brainwashing that's going on with people. And, you know, and I had a argument with a friend of mine about 9/11, and these Generation Z kids, they're either like super politically correct or like they don't care, bro. They go hard in the paint. And this kid put out a video about 9/11. He used some very descriptive language, and one of it was brown people. The other one was the Jays, right? And my friend got upset about the Jays, about the discussion of the Jays, and he gets very angry about it. And for me, it's just like, we accepted a narrative, which was these people of the desert pulled some Luke Skywalker Death Star bullshit, getting these planes to hit these buildings, and that was the end of it. And we buy it so well that we allow our government to go kill 4.5 million people. And so the theory now of hate is scarier than the actual discussion that led to 4.5 million people being murdered. And that's what I think we're up against. Like, when you tell me like all the stuff that you're doing and what you're up against, and I go like, I mean, my God, who does this guy talk to in his real life? Like, who is open-minded to hearing everything that he has to say? Because I feel 100% that even though I'm a functionally illiterate dick joke comic who like loves to talk about these things, and this show got bigger than maybe it was first intention to be. I'm getting excommunicated from the Los Angeles comedy scene. I'm not getting booked on any shows. Clubs that I helped grow aren't booking me anymore. And even though they're all coming to where I am, I'm still the crazy guy. And that's kind of what we're up against. And
I
so
have a comedy story for you.
okay.
All right. Okay. There was a comic that died here recently. A fat dude. He made the circuit. Maybe you know Frankie, I think his name was, something like that.
Frankie, I'm not sure.
So and so. Anyway, I went to his funeral in comedy club somewhere in Hollywood, I think, with another woman, a woman who was another
Was he
comic.
Latino?
Yeah, he might have been. I think Ricky
Fr-
something, Frankie something like
Frankie,
that.
what was it? Xavier, your boy, he used to do coke with your boy. Uh,
Okay, you know who I'm talking about.
Oh,
yeah,
All right.
yeah.
Well, anyway, at his funeral, I mean, I saw everybody there. I saw them all. Okay. But all these people got up to do the eulogy, right? And I mean, this is verbatim. Every single one of them, they'd go up there. It was like a damn shtick, but they would say stuff like, I'm not Jewish, but I'm almost Jewish. I'm half Jewish. I wish I was Jewish. Please, give me a job. I want to work. Blah blah blah.
Yeah.
This kind of one after the other. They get up there and try to remind someone out there in the audience that, and bear in mind, this was in a closed room. Didn't go outside. Nobody, you know what I mean? They didn't publish. This was insider event. One after the other, they all got up there and tried to reaffirm their heritage, if you will.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was my experience with the comedy. So yeah, I can imagine you probably have a little trouble.
Oh yeah, it's crazy right now. No matter how bad and chaotic it gets, there's
Oh,
this
I got to tell you another
comedy
comedy story,
for sure.
a really good one.
Okay.
Okay, there's this guy Rick Messina. You never ever heard of him? Okay,
Rick Messina, yes.
Rick Messina. He used to be a bartender at Laugh Factory or one of these places. Anyway, he's like a big time manager, Hollywood manager for all this talent. He's got like Rick Allen and uh, what's his name, Drew Carey, a bunch of people like this. Anyway, this guy's a Satanist wizard type guy. He's got a house in Encino, and they had put a hit out on this woman that I went to this Laugh Factory with, another comic, and what it was a satanic thing. They were going to do like a ritual sacrifice or whatever. But anyway, they actually were involved with a gig involving QAnon. And I was running QAnon, and they were coming to attack me. But the people, it was like a Roger Stone thing, but it came down through these guys.
Hold on.
Anyway,
What'd you just say? You were running QAnon?
I was running QAnon on Facebook. Okay, I
Oh,
ran a QAnon group on Facebook.
okay.
Okay,
All right.
I was the voice of QAnon there for a long time. Anyway, they didn't like it because I was I was hijacking it to do my Getty stuff. Okay, I mean this was back before I really figured out who Trump was and stuff like that. But point is that the Q crowd, the Q people who were actually NSA people, had to put a stop on me, and they did a couple things. They attacked me. Uh, but they also shut down. Let me see what they do. They actually stole the digital keys for Facebook so that they could hijack my QAnon page. But before they could successfully delete me from the page, I called Facebook, and Facebook shut down like 1 billion users. If you were on Facebook back in those days, everybody remembers when that happened.
When Facebook was down for a second, then replaced
Yeah,
itself.
yeah. It took like a day. Everybody had to go in,
Yeah,
log
I
back in.
remember
All
that.
right,
And
that was
that was a
because of
big
me.
story.
That was me.
Really?
Yeah, that was me. That happened because these spooks working under Roger Stone had stolen the digital keys, and they broke into Facebook, and it compromised 1.1 billion users. So 1.1 billion users all got logged out and had to log back in. I mean, if you were on Facebook back then, you remember that. But
And
that's
it
why they
came back
did it.
with like a Trump. There's something about Trump page was different than when the original one had come out.
Well, that happened too, but that had nothing to do with Trump. That was because of these guys trying to break into my page. See, no one had done that before. Okay, broken into because in order to do that, you had to steal what they called the digital keys, and that's what they did. They hacked Facebook, and it was a big scandal.